Silver singles. Here, here.
I'm coming right back out.
how to dispose of your leftover pills, and talk to your kids about opioids.
Thank you for riding with the Watchdog. Live and local. Just the way you like it.
Calls and conversations continue in less than 3 minutes as the Watchdog Morning Show with Howard Monroe continues after this.
For all of your IT needs, visit OmniPerforms.com. Omni Strategic Technologies, the only IT company that the Watchdog trusts.
Dutch Boy's new Platinum Plus paint with Stain Shield technology has the performance you expect from a luxury paint at a price you didn't. Platinum Plus is up to 50% more washable and stain resistant than a leading premium paint in satin sheen. Superiority ranges from 24 to 50% depending on sheen selected. Platinum Plus keeps your walls looking new longer. Menards and Dutch Boy paint have you covered. Go ahead, live your life.
Get 11% off everything now at Menards. Savings or mail-in rebate. See store for details.
Quaker Steak and Lube at the Highlands is the perfect place to relax after a long day. Happy hour from 3 to 6 Monday through Friday. Get $2 off appetizers, $3 off domestic drafts and house wine specials. Quaker Steak and Lube, voted Best Wings USA. Quaker Steak and Lube at the Highlands with another steal of a deal. Get a steak burger and fries all day Monday for only $8.99. It's also Military Mondays. The Lube will take 25% off for all veterans, active duty military, and first responders. Quaker Steak and Lube, voted Best Wings USA.
Oh, there's something so real about living local, and I know without a doubt I'm not alone. And I love living local. There's nowhere else I'd rather be. Said I love living local. WTRF is working for me. The Ohio Valley is where I love to be.
Hello, everyone. From the Watchdog, I'm the Storm Tracker, Darnell Foster. With a look at your local weather forecast for your start to the work week, mostly sunny skies, a high near 69. Overnight low of 40 degrees. Under mostly clear skies, you'll see plenty of sunshine mixing in with just a few clouds for your Tuesday, with highs in the upper 60s. Have yourself a great day, everyone. From the Watchdog, I'm Darnell Foster.
The views and opinions expressed on the following program are not necessarily those of this station or its sponsors.
I'm not a Monday guy. I'm not crazy about it either. I also don't like Tuesdays, Wednesdays, or Thursdays. Are you ready to go?
I'm warning you, I'm seriously stressed out here.
You always drink like this so early in the morning?
It's not this early in the day for the bottle. Even for you. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
Make a radio call. It's time to get up. It's time to hear that. It's taking self-destruct in 5 seconds. We are go for launch.
This is the Watchdog Morning Show with Howard Monroe and Brad Leonard behind the board in the producer's chair.
Monday. Can't forget that day here. We're kicking off a brand new week. A lot of good stuff to get into today. Got a busy week ahead. It was a good weekend for me. Hope it was for you. Weather's going to be perfect much of the week. It's just everything's looking so good. I can't help but think something's going to go bad here just any moment now. Anything's going to go wrong at some quick moment. It's dark outside, but the sunrise is about 7:33. I think I heard Zach saying a few minutes ago. Currently 43 degrees at the Wheeling, Ohio County Airport. A little bit of wind, not much, but makes it feel like 39. 43 at the airport, 43 at my home studios here in the Elm Grove section of Wheeling, and 43 degrees at the Robinson Auto Group Studios downtown Wheeling in the heart of the Ohio Valley. Some of the stuff we'll get into today. A West Virginia delegate has contracted COVID, and he certainly has been one of the most vocal against COVID precautions. Did not take a vaccination when it was offered. Felt it was bad. I came across a statement. I'm not going to play it on the air because it was so bizarre I couldn't understand it. About how vaccines were injecting toxic chemicals. I don't know. It's just so weird. Anyways, Delegate Steele now has COVID. So, but what's that going to mean for the remaining days of the West Virginia session. You know what? Honestly, I hope it sends them all home. It's been such a terrible, disastrous session. Let's just call it quits. I don't think that's going to happen. Brad McElhenney coming in a bit later on. He spent some time yesterday trying to dig into this whole thing, and he will share his thoughts with us on that. The monument bill passed out of the State House yesterday, over the weekend after significant opposition. Marshall County Delegate Lisa Zukoff coming in to offer her thoughts on that bill, on steel and COVID, and on what she says last week was one of the most frustrating weeks of her career as a legislator forever. So we'll talk about that. War of words over Wheeling's deal with Bluefield State, or lack of a deal with Bluefield State, or talk of a deal with Bluefield State is continuing. The mayor and top officials fired back in a formal statement on Friday at local college and university presidents. I spent some time over the weekend trying to get other council members' feelings for this, and I've got in a minute or two here, I'll share with you what Rosemary Ketchum had to tell me, what Ben Seidler had to tell me. Ben Seidler is going to actually join us today to talk about his thoughts on that whole thing. And Biffy, is your bracket broken yet?
Yep. That's no joke. I had Illinois winning the whole thing, and by about 2:30, 2:30, quarter to 3 on yesterday, I basically said, well, unless West Virginia does something Sunday or yesterday late afternoon into the early evening, by the time Sunday ends, I'm not going to give a damn about college basketball after yesterday. So,
Buckeye fans were stunned on Friday, got knocked out in the first round by Oral Roberts. I guess that's going to be the dream team coming out of this one, right? Oral Roberts?
Actually, the better team won that game, and yet you hate to say it, but the numbers don't lie. I mean, look at what Oral Roberts did compared to Ohio State shooting, and they just played better, and the better team won that game. I mean, it's sad to say it, but it's true. But I think I'm going to jump on the Sister Jean bandwagon at Loyola of Chicago, who beat Illinois. So, yeah, I think for a Cinderella story, I'm gonna go with Loyola Chicago.
WVU, they rallied from behind. I mean, they were way back, and they really came up to come this close to winning over Syracuse, but just couldn't do it. It was actually an interesting second part of the game, I guess. Again, as the Mountaineers, they really rallied back, but couldn't rally back by the final buzzer.
Typical West Virginia that we've seen all season. First of all, they fell behind by as many as 14 points in the first half, which you can't do. Syracuse plays that zone defense better than any team you're probably going to see. Turnovers killed West Virginia. Free throw shooting killed West Virginia. You can't go in spurts of 3, 4, 5 minutes at a time and not score buckets. And again, especially when you face that zone like Syracuse plays. So you add all that up, and yeah, they made it close, but man, I mean, it would have been a different game, I think, had really they just done better. And I lost track of how many things I rattled off there, but if they do even half of them better, and they probably may have won that game, but if they didn't have the three-point shooting of McNeil, they're not in that game. I mean, that kid, I think, hit 6 3-pointers in a row to try and keep him in it. But the bad part was Syracuse had Jim Boeheim's son, Buddy Boeheim, who was matching him.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they could never, once they tied it and then fell behind again, it's like they could never get back, to take the lead again, and Syracuse just did enough to hold them off. But I'm sure it drove Huggins crazy looking back on that first half, and that's pretty much what did him in.
My wife decided yesterday, was it yesterday? What Mountaineers played yesterday?
Yeah, yesterday.
I lose track of time. My wife decided that she was the jinx for Huggins' team. We were watching the game, and they fell far behind. She said at one point, 14 points behind. And she said, I can't watch this anymore. I gotta watch something. She turned off the game. We watched something else. And then she said, well, we better go see how bad they're getting beat. I'm a good fan there. See how bad they're getting beat.
I've said that many a time.
And so we popped back onto the game, and they had rallied. And I think the moment we turned on, they had just scored a bucket to put them ahead by 2 points or something like that. My wife goes, oh, look at this. They came from behind while we were away. Yes. And then we start watching, they start falling further and further. She says, well, I'm not going to watch this anymore. The second time, and we go away, watch something else, and we come back and turn it on again. She says, well, let's go back and see where they are now. And they began to rally again. Finally, my wife said, the problem is every time I watch it, they start to lose. So let's not watch it. So we didn't watch it. So I checked the final score, and apparently that we were not the cause. We were not the cause, because even though we weren't watching, they just, what was it, 73, 72?
75, 72.
75, 72.
Yeah.
So, I mean, as you say, it's not unusual for the Mountaineers, but close, but no cigar. And they really rallied back. Anyway, I wonder if anybody's got a bracket that's not broken by now.
Oh, I mean, if you have Oral Roberts in the Sweet 16, if you have Loyola Chicago in the Sweet 16, if you even had Abilene Christian beating Texas in the other part of the bracket, I don't know how, but yeah, I'm sure there are a lot of brackets that are pretty much busted. I mean, you just who would have thought? And not only did Oral Roberts beat Ohio State, they beat a pretty darn good Florida team too.
Yeah, exactly.
And they were the 7th seed. Florida was the 7th seed.
Yep.
So, I mean, if you have any of those teams in the Loyola Chicago in the Sweet 16 and Oral Roberts in the Sweet 16, congratulations to you, because I sure as heck didn't.
Now, you said that Oral Roberts, if you looked at the numbers between Oral Roberts and OSU, Oral Roberts was the better team in that game. Is Oral Roberts that good a team?
No.
Okay.
No, I mean, it's just the conference that they play in. When these teams in the like the mid majors and all the other tournaments take the big ones out, when they play teams that are in the major conferences, it's a different style. But see, the problem with these lower seeded teams is they know there's no pressure on them. You know, they go in and it's full go for them.
Right.
You know, what do they have to lose? Oral Roberts wasn't supposed to beat Ohio State. Oral Roberts was
right.
I mean,
if Oral Roberts loses and goes home, it's like, well, okay, Oral Roberts lost and went home.
Right. That's supposed to happen. You know, I mean,
good job for you. Nice first round game.
So I mean, think about that. If you're a student athlete at Oral Roberts, you read the clippings and social media and everything, and all they're not supposed to win and this and that, and you know they're just there, and you know they're going to show up and see how long they can give Ohio State a game, and eventually Ohio State will blow them out and all this and everything. And you know when you see that, when you hear that, you're looking at each other going, hey, there's no pressure on us. Let's just go out and see what happens. And again,
we saw what happened. They won.
And again, when you face those teams like that, and you've got to, you can't let them in it for one. I mean, that's the big thing. You can't let teams like that hang around, because when they hang around, the more they hang around, the more confidence they get, and that's scary when that happens. Especially if you're not making your shots and you're turning the ball over, and and you're doing all the other things that they're supposed to be doing, when you're doing it and they're hitting and doing the opposite, you see the result.
Well, Oral Roberts is hanging around.
They are.
They're hanging around.
I mean, they're in the Sweet 16. I mean,
your brackets may have been broken because of Oral Roberts or some of the others, but it does make it interesting to watch now to see how far can how far can the Cinderella teams go.
And this is nothing new for Loyola Chicago. I mean, they made a run 2 years ago. I mean, it's nothing new for them. And, I kind of joked after they won their opening round game. I said, oh, great. They get to play Illinois. Well, they'll be done. I mean, the way Illinois played late in the season, I thought, it was a nice story. We got to see Sister Jean for one day. And, sadly, by the time Sunday ends, that story will be over. Nope. Boy, was I wrong. That story's still going on.
And so is Sister Jean.
And so is Sister Jean, yes.
7:23 in the morning on the Watchdog Morning Show, 43 degrees at the Wheeling, Ohio County Airport. It's going to be an absolutely great day today. We're going to hit a high close to 70, maybe possibly into the 70s. I don't think Zach is predicting that, but it could be there because we're really going to have a nice, warm, sunny day today. Had a great day yesterday. Just took a nice long drive through the park. I took a nap in the sun at Wheeling Park. My wife said, I said, well, I just want to take a nap here. The sun was so warm, so nice. I just took a nap in the park. And concluded the day with a Melman's lunch. So, and then watched the Mountaineers lose. That was the day. All right, let's take business here, and then COVID has come to the legislature in West Virginia. What does it mean? We'll get a little preview of it now. We'll talk in depth about it with Brad McElhenney coming up a little bit later on. 7:24 here on the Watchdog Morning Show.
Tune into the Watchdog Morning Show.
Okay, because I want to use the SoundCloud thing first, and then I'll use Flu after that. Okay? Thank you. I'm going to... I'll wait till the break to go to the bathroom. Okay. Sounds good. As ready as we're going to be. Excuse me. I got up early today. I thought I got the crud out early, but I guess not.
More reasons to vaccinate. Talk to your child's doctor. Go to cdc.gov/vaccines or call 800-CDC-INFO. A message from the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention.
Plumbers and Steam Fitters Local 83 want to thank the owners and contractors of the Ohio Valley for using their locally trained workers to help build for the future. Local 83 helps design, fabricate, and build the gas infrastructure for the oil and gas industry here in the Ohio Valley. Plumbers and Steam Fitters Local 83 is 300 members strong and growing. They also do residential, commercial, and industrial work on both sides of the river. For more information, call Plumbers and Steam Fitters Local 83 at 304-233-4445.
McMecken. The Watchdog is protecting your yard. Join Howard Monroe, Hoppy Kercheval, Bill DeFabio, and Big Rick for the best live and local talk in the Upper Ohio Valley and beyond. McMecken trusts the Watchdog.
Miss a part of the show? Want to hear a segment again? Check out our podcast page at watchdognetwork.com. The Watchdog Morning Show with Howard Monroe continues.
Today is day 40 of the 60-day regular session in West Virginia in the legislature. And the question that's being bandied about is it going to be called, will the rest of the 60 days be called off, called short, put under some kind of additional measures? Who knows? And this is because one of the members, Republican House of Delegates Committee, the Committee on Government Organization Chairman, Brandon Steele, tested positive for COVID over the weekend. He is now quarantined. And that is, the question, of course, is, as they're doing some contact tracing down there now, what exactly does it mean for other members of the House who's been exposed to him, who may or may not have a COVID following up on him since they've been exposed to him? Even if they've been exposed to him in this contact tracing, what kind of quarantine may other members of the House have to have? A group of Republican delegates had met with the governor on the tail end of the week last week, but reports are that Steele was not among those, so maybe did not expose the governor to this whole thing. But the question is, again, who did he expose it to? The other question that a lot of people are asking is, has he been wearing a mask? And I don't have a real answer to that. I'm going to ask Brad Macklin a bit later on about that. But I do know that all of the delegates were given a chance to get vaccinated, and many of them did not. Most of them did, but many of them did not. And Delegate Steele is among those who chose not to get vaccinated. Brad, our buddy Brad McElhenney from Metro News, reached Delegate Steele at his home yesterday, where he is under quarantine, and had a short chat with him about what's happened and what's going on and so on. Here it is.
Delegate Brandon Steele, how are you feeling and what's going to happen with your committee here? We're on day 40 now.
We're on day 40. We're on the downhill run. I feel great. Aside from a little bit of congestion and on quarantine, but I feel fine. Things are going as well as can be expected, and my family's going to have to put up with me for a little bit rather than being in Charleston, but that's okay. I miss them, and so it's good to be home. At the same time, we are still trying to run the committee. We have a full schedule for next week. I expect Delegate Foster will take over at the chair and run committee as committee runs. And, we've had a plan in place if something like this would happen in the House, and the Speaker and the Majority Leader and the Speaker's staff have done an excellent job of putting that plan in place immediately as I notified them yesterday. And preparations and precautions have been taken. Everybody's been notified. We've consulted with Dr. Marsh about our plan, and they say we're doing everything we're supposed to be doing and working the plan well. So I'm encouraged that we're still going to have a great week. This is just a minor distraction from everything, and I just want to say I really hope this is limited to me. We've taken great precaution in the House of distancing, mask wearing, hand sanitation, sanitizing rooms every time we go in one, every time we leave one. So I'm hopeful that the precautions we've taken will work. And we all knew this could happen. It's you bring 134 people from all over the state and put them in a bubble, and it's amazing that it took 5 weeks for that to take place. So, I hate that I'm the first one, but hopefully I'll be the last one.
Delegate Steele has COVID and also pneumonia in one lung has developed, according to what Brad is telling us. And again, this goes to the question, we know that, I don't know whether Delegate Steele has been wearing a mask or not. I don't know whether he's been flaunting the rules or not. I don't know. Again, Brad's with us coming up after 8 o'clock, and we'll, actually at 8:40, and we'll get a little better feel for that. But there are other delegates that we know have not been wearing the mask. Notably, I point out Marty Gerhardt, the one that Sean Fluharty called out recently for not having worn the mask. And this is the guy that carries a coffee cup with him wherever he goes, because he says, well, the rules are that if I'm actively drinking, I don't have to wear a mask. So I'm actively drinking every minute I'm here in the legislature. It's purely a way to flaunt the rules, purely a way to say, I don't need this damn mask. These masks are foolish. They're ridiculous. Well, Delegate Steele's, maybe, hey, how about this, Marty? How about this, Delegate Gerhardt? Maybe Delegate Steele, one of your own Republican colleagues, has COVID because you had to be actively drinking. It's just something to think about. Or maybe he went to visit Jockstrap Carnes before Carnes left the session to go back home and do whatever it is he's doing. You sense my frustration on this, and I certainly have it. By the way, speaking of our friend Flu, 3rd District Delegate, Ohio County Delegate Sean Fluharty, tail end of the week, last week, the so-called monument bill passed through the House and now goes on to the Senate. It was House Bill 2174, prohibits relocating, removing, or altering any statues, monuments, or plaques on public property that are in honor of any historical, military, civil rights, natural disaster, accidents, Native American events, figures, and organizations. That's what it says. What it's designed to do is to prevent people who don't want to have signs of the Confederacy venerated in our state from taking those signs of the Confederacy down. Now, what's absolutely fascinating is we are the state that was formed by shunning the Confederacy. You see, we were formed by saying to those who were Confederate states, no, we don't want to be with you. We prefer to stay with the United States of America and not with you, the traitorous Confederate States. And yet, now, here in the state formed out of that message, we're protecting and venerating Confederate figures. Delegate Fluharty made a point of pointing this out on the floor on, I think, Friday.
Imagine being from West Virginia, a state legislator, and debating whether we should protect the Confederacy. What? This is why we make the national news all the time. Unbelievable. The bill says our history. It's not our history. We decided, you know what? We don't want it to be our history. So we created a separate state. But here we are. I mean, in Wheeling, I love Wheeling. It's a friendly city. Quite literally, we follow that. It's basically our golden rule there. Friendly city. And we celebrate winners. We have statues. We don't celebrate losers or traitors. And we certainly don't put the losers on the winner's property. Blows my mind. And we're doing that. We're protecting that. And let's be real. You guys don't care about the Stonewall statue? Come on. You act like you're going around taking selfies with Stonewall. You're not. If we took that thing down at midnight, you wouldn't even notice. Right? You don't care. We know you don't care. But to touch on what Gentleman 51st said, it's not about me, myself, us. It doesn't hit me like it hits others in the African-American community. And that's the highest quality a politician can have, is empathy. Put yourself in somebody else's shoes. Right? The young Hornbuckles of the world, the young Walkers of the world. We don't celebrate people who tried to take them out. We don't celebrate people who didn't think they were a whole person. That's not to be celebrated. That's to be condemned. And we have the opportunity to do that. And we're going to reverse course. I don't understand it, guys. When you sit around and dream up legislation and it's all about helping the base out. Where has your base gone? You were the party of Lincoln. He's out there. Lincoln walks at midnight, right? I had to change that. It might be Lincoln weeping at midnight. Because you're not the party of Lincoln anymore. You're the party of insurrectionists. I mean, quite literally. They just did that a couple months ago. So, I don't know where we're going as a state right now. It's confusing to me. We don't value our history. We certainly don't support our history. And we certainly don't learn from it. So I'll be standing with Wheeling, the friendly city, and our statues that talk about the winners and good people. I'll be voting no in this legislation. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
God, I love it when Sean stands up and speaks. I just absolutely love it when he gets up and speaks. And he just calls it like it is. You guys don't care. You act like you're out there taking selfies with Stonewall. You wouldn't know if we took him down. But that impassioned comment, and again, I think the key thing that he mentioned was, we are a state that was formed out of denouncing the Confederacy. And now it's supporting the Confederacy. It's crazy time. We will talk more about this coming up in the 8 o'clock hour with Lisa Zukoff from Marshall County, who was very frustrated by the debate on this bill and the vote on this bill and many other things that have happened this past week. She said this was one of the most frustrating weeks she ever has had in Charleston. We will talk to her about the monument bill and a few other things coming up in the next hour of the show. It's 7:38, 22 to the hour here on the Watchdog Morning Show. As we check into the newsroom very briefly, then guess who's back? Zach's back. Zach Petty from the Big Seven. Back in the weather chair. And we'll talk to him next. Watchdog Morning Show.
The WTRF Channel 7 News Update is brought to you by Thomas Auto Centers, Mall Road, St. Clairsville.
Back in a minute, Biff. Okay, I'm back.
Watchdog.
Update your home's exterior with new siding and get 11% off everything at Menards. Timbercrest Premium Double 4-inch Vinyl Siding is engineered to be durable, 15% thicker, and has the look of natural cedar siding. It has a limited lifetime warranty and is available in 9 colors. $679 per 12.5-foot piece after 11% off. Good through March 27th. Savings are a mail-in rebate. Some exclusions apply. See store for details.
Save big money at Menards.
Over the years, you've brought opioids into your home. They helped when you were in pain, and you held on to them just in case. But holding on to opioids puts your family at risk. Learn more at www.fda.gov/drug disposal.
Hello, it's John Kozik, founder and president of TurboTrack Realty, and I buy houses as is, fast for cash. Call me today for an all-cash offer on any of your properties, and we can close within days at 614-362-2000, 362-2000. Do you own a property that's outdated and needs thousands of dollars in repairs? Great, I'll buy it. I'm a private real estate investor who can solve your real estate problems fast for cash. Do you want to sell and just be done with it? Okay, great. I buy vacant properties, boarded up houses, pre-foreclosures, and inherited properties. I also buy apartment buildings, rental portfolios, divorce homes. I even buy my tenant won't pay me the rent houses. I look forward to solving your real estate problems today. Give me a call for an all-cash offer at 614-362-2000, 614-362-2000.
My little girl hurt her foot and needed a doctor fast, but her physician wasn't available, and I wanted her seen as soon as possible. Then I remembered the Wheeling Hospital Urgent Care, right in downtown Wheeling at the Stone Center on Market Plaza. Open 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. every day, the center is ideal if you have a sudden sickness or injury. The doctors and nurses were great, and they also provided x-rays, a pharmacy, and lab draw station. No appointments needed, and convenient parking is nearby. Wheeling Hospital Urgent Care. They'll take good care of you.
From the West Virginia Broadcasting Hall of Fame, directly to you. This is the Watchdog Morning Show with Howard Monroe, brought to you in part by Wheeling Hospital.
Some thoughts from a couple of the council members coming up a little bit later on this morning. Ben Seidler is going to join us. I have some thoughts from Rosemary Ketchum as well. We've been hearing from the top city leaders, the mayor, vice mayor, and city manager, having to do with this Bluefield State story. I did reach out to some of the other council members to get their take on it, and I'll share it with you coming up a little bit later on. Also, a text reminded me, we're talking about the monument bill that passed the House and heads off to the Senate now in West Virginia, essentially protecting Confederate statuary and Confederate commemorative items in West Virginia. It was pointed out to me that local Ohio County Delegate Erica Storch voted for the monument bill. Would have asked her that last week if we'd had the interview we had scheduled, but guess she forgot about us. All right. Zach Petty never forgets about us. I'll bet he thought about us even when he was on vacation. Zach is back here at the Weather Center. Good morning, Zach.
Good morning, Howard. How are you, sir?
I'm good. First question is your bracket broken yet?
Oh, it's fully on busted. I mean, there is truly nothing left. I had Illinois going pretty far, and so there's that.
Well, you and Biff can commiserate quite. I didn't play a bracket this year, first time in a long time, but you and Biff can commiserate because Biff's bracket's pretty well shot too, right, Biffy?
Yeah, you can use it for kindling in the fire if you need to start one.
Yep, yeah, I got mine ready for pour some gasoline and light a match and run and scream, that's for sure.
So, you're not doing, you didn't have Oral Roberts, did you?
No, I was not one of like the 2,000 people who picked that in the upset bracket. I only made the good ones that I only made the winning bracket until Oral Roberts decided to screw that up, but then a handful of other teams decided to do the unthinkable and win. But hey, good for them, the Cinderella stories. That's why it's called March Madness, and there's never been a perfect bracket, even though, in my opinion, my bracket was perfect whenever I made it. So
it is true. I mean, it is what makes it a fun time, right? Because this is one of those deals where on any given day, as they say. Who knows who's going to win?
Literally, yeah, and that's why they play the games, because if it was all they're seeded number one, they're going to win, then there'd be no reason to play the games, and we would always have 4 number ones winning, and the number one overall team in the land would win. That's why it's March Madness for a reason. I love it, even though I get so upset. And every year I say, I'm not doing this again. I'm not wasting money to put into pools and stuff this year. And then the next year comes like, it's like that fever, that addiction that you just can't live without.
Didn't we lose, Biff, Zach, help me. I'm trying to pull this out of in my brain. Didn't we lose at least one team because of a COVID problem this weekend?
Yes, it was the VCU-Oregon game. Or VCU had a couple positives early on, and they were actually at the team dinner before the game. So I think they were supposed to play at like 5:30 on Friday, and then the coach had to come in and tell the players, "Hey, we can't play because of some positive COVID cases." And Oregon didn't play VCU, so they just advanced on to. Today, I guess they play Iowa. I think they're the first game. They're actually on WTRF CBS this morning at like 12:10.
So COVID strikes again. Even at least we have a tournament this year, though. Last year we didn't even have one. So.
Yep, I'm definitely thankful for that. But yes, COVID unfortunately did make its way into the March Madness tournament.
He's got to be frustrating, Biffy. You and I talked about this multiple times during the football season. So many teams, including up to and through the Super 6, just never got the chance to play because of COVID problems, or at least map problems. And
basically,
how frustrating has that got to be? And now here, you get in, you're in March Madness, and then, sorry, you can't play. Just
it was basically the same thing that happened during football season minus the map. I mean, you're getting ready to play, and all of a sudden the head coach has to do what's probably one of the toughest things he's had to do is look those young men in the eye, especially the seniors, and say, hey, we can't play because of what tests that came back. So, you got to look at your seniors and say, sorry, this is how your season ends. Enjoy your team meal.
Yeah.
I mean, that's pretty much it.
Good way to put it.
All right, let's talk about the weather, Zach. You had a nice vacation, I assume, but when you came back, you brought us good weather.
Yeah, I was, absolutely. Everyone, you're welcome. Ohio Valley, you're welcome. I brought in the warm air and the nice temperatures throughout central Pennsylvania into the happiest of valleys and state halls, and I brought it over into the Ohio Valley, so we're just trading places with Happy in Ohio. So, yeah, everyone's welcome. Temperature-wise, we'll be hovering in the mid to upper 60s today, wall-to-wall sunshine. Good day to maybe go for a drive. Think about putting the windows down and just cruising around the Ohio Valley. Maybe even think about opening up the windows in your apartment or house and getting some warmer air, give the furnace a break. But you actually might want to maybe think of, maybe even think about turning the air condition on by Thursday, because we could be flirting with 70 degrees on Thursday, Howard.
It's okay with me. I'm all right with that.
Yeah.
I like that. Yesterday was a great day. I don't know what the high was yesterday, but it was nicely into the 60s, I know. And my wife and I took a nice Sunday drive, drove through Ogilvy Park and just some of the usual spots here in the upper Ohio Valley. And we went to Wheeling Park, and the sun was so warm. I said to my wife, let's just stop here at the park. I'm going to take a nap in the sun. I got out and took a nap in the sunshine for a while. I mean, it was just that kind of day. What a great day it was all the way around yesterday. And today going to be more of the same.
Absolutely, yeah. It looks like it's a cookie-cutter forecast compared to what we saw yesterday. A little cooler out this morning. I got temperatures in that mid to upper 40 range, but some areas are slightly cooler. But we will warm up, so as you're listening in to us on the radio this morning and before you head out the door, grab the light jacket and the sunglasses for today, because it's going to be another gorgeous one, very similar to what we saw on Sunday.
And then really the week is all going to be sunshine and warm temperatures, right?
Yeah, it looks like maybe just a couple of clouds tomorrow, though. That'll be building in, let's say, right around lunchtime. But we'll still stick with 60 plus degree temperatures throughout the entirety of your work week. Maybe a couple more clouds in the skies on Wednesday. Maybe a few rain showers Thursday night. Let's even maybe say right around lunchtime on Thursday, lingering into Friday. But again, 60s and low 70s, by Thursday. Beautiful stretch of weather expected over the next couple of days. Enjoy the warm air, especially while we have it to begin spring, because as you know, Howard, we live in the Ohio Valley. Things in Mother Nature can turn the script on us real quick. I mean, there's still been numerous storms of snow and just bad weather. So let's just stick with the warmer air as long as we can and enjoy it the best we can.
Let's just keep what we've got right now and live with it. I'm happy with that. Weekend, looking ahead to the weekend, it's far away. It's the end of the week, but looking ahead to the weekend, slightly cooler, as in below 60 probably, but still nice day, right?
Oh yeah, it looks like we'll stick with the upper 50s as we head into the weekend. And the weekend's average high temperature, I did look this up whenever I was making the forecast. Normal high temperatures for today, 51. As we head into Saturday and Sunday, it'll be 52. So we'll still be warmer than average. So we'll put that out there, the disclaimer that we're going to stay warmer than average for the entirety of the next 7 days. But yes, it'll be cooler compared to what we had over the work week, where our high temperatures will be close to 60, where throughout their work week will be in the mid to upper 60s, to put it into perspective.
But all the way around, it's just a good 7-day forecast, and I like the sound of it. And going to try and get out and do something outside today. I don't know. Maybe I'll take another nap in the sun. I don't know. I'll do something. All right, Zach, glad you're back. Hope you had a good vacation, and we will talk to you again tomorrow.
Yep, sounds good. It was all good. Glad to be back and talking with you guys. We'll take it easy, and we'll talk to you tomorrow.
All right, thanks a lot. 7:54, 6 before the hour here on the Watchdog Morning Show. Yeah, I suspect, I can't imagine anybody listening does not have a broken bracket by now. There's just a couple of key things that have happened. But that's not unusual, and there's always at least one team that ruins your bracket. That's why this year you might want to think about betting the tournament on FanDuel Sportsbook, America's #1 sportsbook. Because on FanDuel, your first bet is risk-free. So it doesn't matter who you bet in that first bet. New users get up to $1,000 in site credit if your first bet doesn't win. So, for example, you had OSU. Who knew Oral Roberts was coming along? You would get your money back on that if that's what you bet on FanDuel. FanDuel has odds on all the action, games, day and night, an easy-to-use app, multiple deposits, fast withdrawals, always on promotions. Your next chance to win with FanDuel is only minutes away, my friend, whether it's March Madness or anything else you want to bet on. And if that's not enough, FanDuel wants to make you a millionaire. Yep, you want to make you a millionaire. They're giving away $1 million to one lucky bettor. New and existing users get an additional shot at that payout every day that you bet the tournament. So if you want a shot at becoming a millionaire, or even a thousandaire, download the FanDuel Sportsbook app. Just use the promo code Monroe so they know that we sent you here on the Watchdog Morning Show. Remember, you must be 21 or older, physically present in West Virginia or Pennsylvania. No purchase is necessary. Restrictions do apply for the $1 million drawing. Risk-free offer is for first online real money wagers only. Site credit is non-withdrawable, expires in 14 days. Restrictions do apply. See sportsbook.fanduel.com for details. And if you have a gambling problem, don't download FanDuel, but rather call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.1800gambler.net. 4 before the hour here on the Watchdog Morning Show. We okay on breaks, Biffy?
We are okay.
Going to talk to Ben Seidler a little bit later on this morning here on the Watchdog Morning Show about Wheeling Council and the Bluefield State Memorandum of Understanding and the controversy that developed after this past week's council meeting where Washington Northern Community College President Daniel Mosser aggressively attacked City Council and the city leadership during the council meeting with the implicit support of both Jenny Favin from Wheeling University and Dr. Evans from West Liberty University. On Friday, the mayor, the vice mayor, and the city manager issued a fairly lengthy statement basically saying, you're a liar. Now, they didn't use that word, but they said, they outlined all of the allegations made by Dr. Mosser and said not true. They are simply not true. In short, neither the MOU, Memorandum of Understanding, nor any discussions between city officials or anyone with the city and BSC contemplate the secret financial arrangements suggested by Dr. Mosser. If Dr. Mosser, Ms. Favit, or Dr. Evans have any evidence to support these alleged financial arrangements or the accompanying allegations of misconduct by city officials, now would be an appropriate time to produce it. Otherwise, said the city leaders, we are left to conclude that those making, as well as those implicitly endorsing the allegations, have done so either with knowledge they are false or reckless disregard for the truth. We would respectfully request each issue a public retraction immediately. City is categorically denying all of the allegations laid out by Dr. Mosser. In one of the stories, I think it might have been a Metro News story, but in one of the stories looking into this, it was noted that Dr. Mosser says that the city of Wheeling approached Bluefield State, not the other way around. And in one of the stories, I think Metro News' story, it says the minutes of a Bluefield meeting seem to imply that the city reached out to Bluefield State. Morning Intel today has an interview with City Manager Bob Herron, and he says absolutely not. Bluefield State approached the city. Our old friend Jeff Knierim was the interim sort of middleman to bring this up, apparently. But there was no attempt made by the city to reach out to Bluefield State. They only responded once Bluefield State had offered their thoughts. And I talked to both Rosemary Ketchum and Ben Seidler about this over the weekend. Coming up after the news break, I'll share their thoughts with you on this. Ben's going to join us a little bit later on. And also next hour, we'll talk with Lisa Zukoff about that monument bill down in Charleston. It's all coming up here on the Watchdog Morning Show.
The Watchdog is FM 98.1, AM 1600 WKKX Wheeling, FM 97.7, AM 1370 WVLY Moundsville.
The ABC News is brought to you by Thomas Auto Centers, Mall Road, St. Clairsville. Get the best deal at Thomas Auto Centers.
To Miami Beach, you're now in full.
Okay, Lisa should be up in this 8:10 segment, Biff. Brad at 8:40 and Ben Seidler at 9:10. If all goes as planned. Yeah.